The place I wanted to go is closed. Uptown. It's so sad. Guess I'll have to do something else. But that's so sad. I rarely do this, but wow. I just feel like a hot steam bun in the morning because my pastry place is closed. Feeling more Christmassy now. Lounging space, but we call it journaling space. I'm just trying to see where this elevator takes me. I believe there's more space to be down here. Space here. It's really cool. It was such a relief to have this brief break and find this new space for us to catch up and journal together. Maybe because it's Christmas and people are out of town that this place is so empty, because I would imagine during the weekday that this third place could be quite popular. And in fact, I think quite a lot of local junk journaling group or pen clubs have been hosting meetups at this space here and there. We still like the library just because it fits more people. We have the space for sure and we can eat and drink. But I'm definitely open to exploring using this space in the future for more of my meetups next year. It's getting close to the end of the year. I'm really looking forward to archiving so many of my journals, including this really chunky take a note. Just really trying to catch up on these empty pages now in my TN, in my take a note, putting away old pages from my plotter. I have another weekend to look forward to do all of this. Woohoo! Hey friends! We're slowly going through it. We're almost through the rest of the year in terms of my Travelers notebook refills. This one was a special, I think their anniversary edition refill that the Superior Labor made with Travelers notebook. I got to get one, luckily, from my colleagues in Japan. And this kind of goes through from July to all the way to October. And I think I started it off with a quick trip to Taipei and Taichung during the end of my summer vacation. I got to do like a stationery tour with my friend. My mom and my sister came along as well. It's like a typically 2 to 3 hour drive from Taipei to Taichung, but we took the high-speed rail. It was really fast, only took us 1 hour, and then we rented a taxi like for the whole day, and they were able to just like take us to all these places and drop us off. So it was very convenient. I got to hit up quite a few partner shops from Travelers in Taipei, in Taiwan, in Taichung area actually. So Aya Bungu, we went to TPL Stationery, and then there were just a lot of other hidden gems as well. Like this is another, this is I Have a Pen, 1/1 Studio. This one is a very special one that only opens on like, I think, weekends and like 3 weeks a month. Really rare openings and super low profile. They don't even advertise much their store hours. So we got to like squeeze every store into just like 4 hours of that day. I brought my road trip TN with me, of course, and they were all very thrilled to see this edition. I knew some of the people that worked there, some of the stores, so I also gifted them the road trip sticker packs because you can only get it here in the US. For dinner, we went to this really cool Taiwanese dinner place. It renovated an old eye clinic into this new modern building that serves ice cream and has a restaurant inside. And I just found this staircase sticker from Maruko Art to be like the perfect depiction of this cool Gothic library-like interior. I journaled a little bit about my little misfortune, I guess. I got sick while I was in Taiwan. Felt really unwell, and I think this was the first time I actually went to urgent care in Taiwan ever. Just going there because my fever wasn't coming down. The meds weren't, over-the-counter meds weren't working that well, and they hooked me up with some liquid IV, and I was feeling much better later that day. I went on little dates with my sister around Taipei during my trip there. It was the peak of summer. Honestly, the weather was horrible. It was humid, it was hot, it was miserable, but the biggest trade-off, the biggest great thing that comes from enduring summer in Taiwan is the delicious mango shaved ice. And this is an iconic one that I loved called Bing Zhan in Zhongshan Zhan. And it was one of my, I think the flavor never changed. It was one of my favorites when I was still going in college. Going to college back then. We would go during the summer. There's a short queue. This ice place is actually famous among Japanese tourists because it was featured on a lot of the Japanese travel guides. So there's not too much other tourists yet, so it's still a manageable queue, but kind of hole in the wall. So after that ice place, we decided to look for a random cafe to sit down and journal in our Hobonichi. She in her Hobonichi, me and my Teikano, we both have creative journals to catch up on. And we came across this random cafe called Home or How To, I think. And it is just located again in the alleyway. I was randomly Google Maps searching it. We sat down. It was a quiet, almost empty coffee shop. They serve primarily tea. We sat down in the middle of the cafe. There's only one party next to us, kind of 2 tables away. But then halfway through our journaling, I was like, wait, I feel like I am familiar with the topics that these 2 guys are talking about. And also, I feel like this guy looks a little familiar. And then turns out, I looked over, and it's Hu Ming, who has been to several stationery events over these last few years. He's known for his illustration. I was like, oh my goodness, did I just randomly run into Hu Ming just going into a random cafe in Taipei? What? what? I'm a huge fan of his artwork for the longest time. I wasn't even that sure, but I just kept glancing over and then like checking my phone, trying to see if I could recognize his look. And then finally I like built up the courage to talk to him like, hi, are you Husming? Hello, like, you know, I missed you at Stationery Fest last year at Yoseka. I was able to go, but man, I'm such a huge fan of you. When are you coming to the States for another event? And just like randomly started talking to him. And he gifted me a sticker. He just happened to have some during on his body like at the time, and I was just like, wow, what a cool encounter. So I just wrote about it, and hilariously later that this year, as you guys probably have known, Husman did go to an event in the US in LA called Bungu LA. I was originally gonna go, and that's what I told him, like, hey, maybe I'll see you like when I visit LA this later this fall. I ended up missing that trip because I was just feeling so tired after all my traveling. But he somehow made his way to Seattle during that week when he was in LA. And I was like, Husman, I'm not gonna see you at Bunga LA. Do you want me to drive you around and see some cool sights in Seattle? And so this is the cool story how I became Instagram friends with Husman. So yeah, we went and saw the trolls that are famous in the PNW. They built these cool trolls out of driftwood and placed them in cool places with the environment. So I got to hang out with Husman anyway, and it was all through this random cafe encounter. Still very cool up to this day. Got to eat a lot of good food before I leave. Come home to Seattle. You always gotta enjoy all the good food. There's a really great omakase place that we went to as well. The last day, it was pouring in Taipei. So I did some indoor painting session with my mom's friends. Originally, they were dragging me and wanting me to demonstrate some urban sketching outside, but it ended up raining quite heavily, and this paper was just perfect. So we ended up painting at home, which is still fun. My sister and I enjoyed our last meal of mango shaved ice before I leave. And then, like, I don't know why things just keep happening to me. I was supposed to get on the plane to come back to Seattle, but then they actually ushered us off after sitting on the tarmac for over an hour because there was something wrong with the plane. So they ended up rebooking me for the next day and got us places to stay near the airport. I got to somehow spend another night in Taiwan, just randomly, but I got to actually do some more shopping at the nearby mall. So that was pretty nice. Came back, spent the rest of the July just recouping from my trip. And then in August, before we head out to San Francisco Pen Show, we did a little Portland getaway because it was my father-in-law's birthday. So we drove down to Portland and had some great meals as always. Got to hang out with Kelly. Went to our favorite noodle place, Kamudang, which I talked about in previous vlogs. We got to use the cool pool at our hotel as well. We went to this bubble tea place that I really like called Ho Chalo. They opened one in Beaverton and finally opened one in Seattle, which I can't wait to visit because their bubble tea, they're known for their sesame pudding and matcha pudding as a topping you can add to your teas. So we got to hang out and journal at this bubble tea place. But before San Francisco Pen Show, I totally forgot that I squeezed in a trip to Houston, Texas, because our friends at Cute Things from Japan was doing a special event featuring the Superior Labor, featuring Eric Small Things, featuring Papier Platz at an event venue in Houston, Texas back in August. So a few friends from Seattle over here, we decided to do a spontaneous group trip, and we went to Houston for a few days just to enjoy that show, but then also do some other sightseeing stuff. So for example, we went to the Space Center in Houston. This moon kind of sleeve from Travelers really came in at just the perfect time. Got to tour the facilities, see cool space stuff. Here's the map from I guess Space Center Museum. There's a museum portion of it, and then there's actually also the training ground. So it was all pretty cool. This is one of my favorite things that I saw at the Space Center, this giant rocket, and we all sat down and did some urban sketching and doodling of it. It was a great experience. I've always wanted to visit, and finally this trip to Houston gave me the excuse. And the fact that we didn't have to work, we're there for fun, kind of gave me the leisure to explore and go around and eat a lot of good food as well. So gotta hit up all the barbecue place, gotta hit up all the Mexican desserts, just all kinds of fun things that one could do in Texas. This is the event card. Hello Houston, Eric and cute things from Japan. Our favorite designs are these space shuttle and astronaut holding a fountain pen. Little squirrels with cowboy hats. Just so cute. And this is like the horseshoe. Hello Houston. This is the map of the event space, which I again cut out and used as a background. It was in this refurbished fire station, I believe. So there's actually a pole you can slide down from the second floor where the bulk of the event, the workshop spaces. The first floor is just filled with the market space, so a ton of stationery that one could shop and purchase. The Superior Labor even brought these cool lanterns to decorate the space. And this is actually something that they featured in their most recent Superior Labor event as well in Kurashiki. I don't know how, but I was able to exert quite some self-control and didn't buy too much, relatively, to my usual purchase. There was a gashapon machine, and we were trying for the cool designs, but I think we all ended up getting the squirrel one, which is okay, but we wanted the astronaut design. And so filling the pages with scraps, experiences. One of my favorite purchase is the art toolkit collaboration that they did, featuring Eric Small Things artwork. It's so good. It's actually my most current watercolor palette in my rotation. And that's pretty much it. We have one more day where we just kind of took it easy, drove out to eat some Vietnamese food, chill at the hotel before making it to our flight back to Seattle. And then that's when I was like, okay, no more traveling until San Francisco Pen Show. And when that was done, no more traveling, just I need a ton of rest. And in fact, San Francisco Pen Show went by in such a blur, I didn't even have time to put in my journal. I skipped ahead way over to September at this point, where I attended a friend's wedding. It was actually a 2-day retreat too on this island in Washington. It's so beautiful, and she asked me to be her wedding sketcher, which is such a, oh my god, such an honor, but also so much pressure. But I think I ended up delivering, I hope, and they all enjoyed it. So I was there from, I went up to Anacortes in Washington the night before to stay the night, so I don't have to drive too far. Got there the next day on the day of the wedding at around like 9-10 a.m. And just from there on, started painting and sketching small pieces here and there. And then by the actual time of the wedding, they have this laundry line that allowed me to clip up all the paintings that I did throughout the day. And it was just kind of fluttering in the wind. It was really nice. it was a really cool wedding, kind of a combination of American and with Vietnamese, Laotian style ceremonies. And then there was 3 giant paella things going on as like the final dinner, which was so delicious. Towards the end of summer, I had to go back up to Edmonds, which is one of my favorite places to be during the summer for some nice view of the water, enjoy some sunset, and I finally took Cookie on a walk there. It's a little bit of a drive up, but we wanted to see if he enjoys the sand and the beach, which he kind of does, but also I'm not quite sure. I just really like how the sunset really drenched him in this orange filter, so he looks like a mandarin orange chicken nugget. My friend Judy from Tokyo Beds in Memory visited us in October. We got to go to quite a few places, like visiting the public Amazon spheres. We took them to our favorite places to eat. We walked Cookie together at Ballard Locks. And then we went up to Edmonds for a day trip. I took them on the ferry because it's just such a fun experience. We literally went from Edmonds to Kingston and then back again. But then the weather was just so nice, so gorgeous. And taking the ferry was very relaxing and chill. I'm glad I was able to show them the peaceful and beautiful Seattle summer experience. Since for one of them it was his first time to the US. We also visited the new aquarium. I guess there's always been an aquarium, but they opened up a new pavilion and it was gorgeous. You can see this giant tank of fish and it's quite calm. So we also hung out there as well. Here and there you can see I talked about Husman visiting in October. I got to go see a concert in Tacoma featuring my favorite boys, 17. It was such a great experience, and I needed this break, honestly. I had such a fast-paced summer, and I got sick quite a few times in between from, I think, just the weather and the flu that goes around. Who knows, maybe COVID. Just quite a lot going on, and I took it easy throughout September, October, and that really worked out for us. Some Cookie snapshots. And then in the end, I wanted to document the special release that Traveler's Company did with 12's record, because I was supposed to go down and join the listening party, but like I said, I was so fatigued from all the trips and all the traveling that I canceled my trip down to LA, and I still wanted to write about the experience, so I printed out some photos that Job took from the party and turned it into an entry. So there you go, guys. We're in October, and I think the most recent one is actually the December daily one. I will probably look at it at the end of Vlogmas. Cookie, you're using me as a recliner. Oh my goodness. This is the state of my nap right now.
Defib.
Taken.
I hear
The whites of your eyes was showing just now. Oh no, it's glossing over again. Oh, he's like, no, it's too much. The dog has too much.